This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
We see a lot of successful do-it-yourself investors, but there's a major difference between pedal to the metal, getting up that retirement mountain, and then descending down the mountain safely into retirement.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Hang in there, and the markets will come back, and we're in the same boat as you. Is not comforting for someone who is 58, 65, 72, and there have got to be better ways to do things, and there are.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
What is the song lyric? Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
That's right. Way back in the day, for those of you who listen to 90s hip hop. That's right.
I'm going old school this morning. We talk a lot on this radio program, not just about financial wellness, but also just mental health, because it all fits together. That's something that you are really focusing on so much in your own life, Abe, the idea of just the mental, physical health. It all goes together.
It's really important. You know, without your health, you have no wealth, and mental toughness and your physical life and how you are with your physical body and everything, your nutrition, your mental nutrition, if you will, as well. This is all very important in your career and retirement. Yeah, I think having faith is really important. I think having a lifestyle plan, really, I think is what you're getting at here, Heather, as you're working and when you're retired is super important. Things to keep you busy outside of your business and career. What are your hobbies and interests, and what are you doing to live a fulfilled, purpose-driven life? What are those things, and how are you contributing to society and the world and making the world a better place and making those around you better people? Yeah. You know, how are you influencing others? And so keeping your mind right and growing physically and mentally and your faith, if you have faith, and all these things is really important. And that will help with our financial and retirement plans, I believe, as well. It will help in our careers and all these things. So super important.
I think that having that mental awareness is perhaps even more important when you enter in your retirement years, because you are leaving behind everything you knew about your 9-to-5 daily life, Monday through Sunday, even in some cases. So you've got to have that head game straightened out. Otherwise, you're going to go nuts.
Absolutely right.
In your retirement years.
Absolutely right.
And having a plan in place, having all of these things factored in and figured out as you head into this next phase of your financial life. That's what Abe and his team are here to help you figure out. Not just find that mental and financial wellness, but also to understand mistakes that do commonly happen and helping you avoid those mistakes. Abe, we spend our whole lives saving up for retirement in our working years, and that's one part of it. But when we get to our retirement, this is something you talk about all the time, this idea of coming down the mountain, withdrawing money once you're retired. This is a totally different ballgame. And an article on smartasset.com financial website was talking about the 4 worst mistakes that people have made in withdrawing from their account. So I wanted to talk to you about these mistakes, get your opinions on them, and how do you help folks determine the optimal sequence to withdraw money? Is it different for everyone? How do you help us figure this out? Let's talk about these mistakes first and foremost.
Yeah, here are some of them, Heather, from this article. Relying on the stock market too much for income and retirement. Making a mistake with your Social Security decisions. So claiming benefits early could be a mistake. It could be right for you. Versus delaying benefits till 70 could be right for you. It might be wrong. It could be a mistake. You may have waited too long. So you need a specialized, customized plan for you on all these decisions. Withdrawals from specific accounts. Like, do you really want to tap into a Roth IRA early in the retirement? Probably not. That could be your most valuable account. So usually we'll defer and delay Roth IRAs as much as possible. Do you want to take income from, IRAs and 401ks versus brokerage accounts? These could all impact your tax situations positively or negatively. And so these are some of the mistakes that the article was discussing that people can make. And so you talk about this mindset shift, Heather, and what you're really talking about and what we talk about on the show so much is that people need to have this mindset shift and switch. And the reason why people are oftentimes pretty nervous when they come into our office is because they don't have the right plan, and they're sitting here super nervous with where the markets are because they have an investment plan, but they don't have a comprehensive phase 2 plan to include the proper withdrawal strategy, to include an income plan, to include a plan to reduce risk, to include a plan to reduce and mitigate tax. And so that's how we're different, Heather. And for all of you listening out there, the majority of our industry, of all the big names. I don't have to mention them, some of which are on this station, big box firms that typically do a good job in phase 1 fun. That's the ascent up your own retirement mountain. But the problem is, and your potential problems are, if you saved and done a good job of saving, that you have to address all the risks and pitfalls that could present challenges to you as you descend down your own retirement mountain. And that needs a different type of plan.
Okay.
So we just recently had a lady call into the show. She lives in Bethesda, Maryland, and she is 68 years old. She's got $1 million, right at the $1 million mark.
Nice.
She's retiring in 2 years at the age of 70. She's a 5 on our risk scale, so a middle of the road investor. And, she's comfortable with having about half in the market, stock market specifically, and half in the fixed income and safe category. And the problem with her is that all of this money, before coming on board with us and putting together a proper phase 2 plan, was in the market. So all at risk, even though she's a middle of the road, pretty moderate based investor. She had no plan to transition into retirement. Here we are headed into the next 30 years of our lives without a roadmap and GPS. No plan to replace her working paychecks, right? She's going to have Social Security. She's got a federal pension. She's a former government employee. No plan to reduce risk on all those investments, including the TSP investments. And then further, as we're discussing right now, no withdrawal plan, right? So, okay, we basically have a big bucket of money, $1 million, a federal pension, a Social Security check, and these people are coming in, and she called in the show and says, now what, Abe? I have no idea. I got here. I knew how to get here. I knew how to save my $1 million. I know I'll have a pension from the federal government based on my work history. I know I'll have Social Security. But how the heck do I even get started? How do I transition? How do I create more income? How do I reduce risk, fees, and taxes, and set up a new plan for me to transition successfully into retirement? So the solution for her, as with so many people in this DC metro area that become clients of ours, is an income plan and roadmap. Now we need to know, and we will know with a roadmap, where we are headed. What does your income situation look like? Do you have a shortfall? Are you short on income? Do we need to create more income from your portfolio? Or do we have a surplus? Do we have more than we need? If we do, that already takes tremendous pressure off your portfolio, right? So we created an income plan and roadmap. We implemented in the plan a protection component to protect 50% of our life savings from market losses, especially large market losses. And we separated her portfolio to serve a few different purposes. She needed extra income in the portfolio. She also needs growth in the portfolio. She's 68 and could live into her 90s, which is 20, 25 plus years from now. And so we leveraged the heck out of the income side for her to sit on top of Social Security and pension. And what that did, Heather, for her is it took a lot of pressure off her stock market investments.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into that conversation, because we often talk about how hard it is to time the stock market, but that doesn't seem to be stopping financial analysts like Eddie Gabor from talking about it. Here's what he recently told Fox Business.
I think the new lows will be before mid-year because, again, it's going to depend upon how bad it gets economically. The liquidity issue and the cost of credit is what has me most concerned. If we have a credit event, that could last to the second half of this year. I'm hopeful that doesn't happen. But, again, that is a dark cloud that we're keeping a very close eye on because you can't double interest rates in a 12-month period of time with the amount of commercial loans that are coming due that have to get refinanced and not expect something bad to happen economically.
Jeez, talk about doom and gloom. That sounds scary for those of us who are about to retire, Abe. So what can you do to a portfolio to de-risk and de-doom and gloom this conversation?
You got to do just that. You got to think defensively, Heather. You got to de-risk. You've got to put a moat around the castle, build in protections wrapped around your life savings. We can't invest like we're 50 years old anymore. You are retired now, or you're about to retire. And if you're 5 years or less away from full retirement, you're in what we call the retirement red zone. Any mistakes, any large losses in this 5-year period of time are crucial and can be terminal to your portfolio. You cannot have a 2008 happen right before you retire or right into retirement. You've heard all the stories about people having to go back to work, and man, those are massive losses that we can't afford to happen right when we retire. We had another lady just recently call in and come on board with us. She is 62. She lives down in the Manassas area of Virginia, fully retired and a little under $1 million saved, a 4 on our risk scale. And what was the problem with her? All of that money before coming on board with us was in the stock market. Here is a lady who wants to be a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being in cash and 10 being in stocks.
Yeah.
She's like, Abe, I want 40 to 50% of my money maybe exposed to the ups and downs because I know I'll win long term in the market, but I also want to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So help me protect the lion's share of my portfolio at the same time. Can we do both? Of course we can do both. So there was nothing to protect her downside in life savings and no plan at all except all these various investment accounts that she had at 3 or 4 institutions like Fidelity and T. Rowe, Oppenheimer, Invesco, you name it. They're all out there kind of just doing their own thing with no cohesion. So what was the solution for her, Heather? It was an income plan to include some guaranteed lifetime income. Here's a 62-year-old female that could easily live 30 plus years into her 90s. So we reduced risk by a large percentage in her portfolio, and we put together a Where Do I Stand plan, which included a portfolio x-ray on all of her investments. If you're listening right now and you sound a little bit like this lady or anyone we speak about on the show, you've got all your investments scattered. You haven't had a second opinion on the costs, fees, risks, ups and downs of your investments, pros and cons. Go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.